Jamie learned early that love was inefficient. It distracted, it destabilized, it demanded emotional labor she didn't have time for. By 26, she had already decided something most people don't admit until their 30s. If she ever loved again, it would have to be worth the risk. She worked at a mid-sized litigation firm in downtown Boston. Glass building, clean lines, long hours. Estate and property law had never been glamorous, but it was stable. Predictable, and predictable was safe. The call about Becca came on a Thursday. Jamie almost passed, but something about the assistant's tone, she seems desperate, made her say yes. Becca sat across from her, shoulders tight, fingers twisting the strap of her bag. "My dad died 8 months ago," she began. "And now my uncles want us out." Jamie didn't react emotionally. She never did. Start from the beginning. The house had been purchased 12 years earlier. Before Mirable and her husband married, the deed was solely in his name. And he died suddenly. No will, no estate plan, nothing written. Jamie closed her eyes briefly. Intestate. In Massachusetts and in many U.S. states, when someone dies without a will, assets are distributed by statute. If the property was purchased before marriage and titled only to the deceased, it could legally be considered separate property, and that's where things get messy. "Are your uncles listed anywhere on the deed?" Jamie asked. "No. Did your father ever refinance?" "I don't think so." "Did he ever verbally promise them anything?" Becca hesitated. "They say he told them the house stays in the family." Jamie nodded slowly. "The law doesn't care about conversations," she said calmly. "It cares about paperwork." And that sentence would define everything that followed. "I'll need to see the original deed," Jamie said, "and mortgage records, bank statements, any proof of renovations after the marriage." Becca nodded. "They're at home." Jamie paused. "Is your mother comfortable meeting with me?" Becca hesitated. "They already sent a lawyer once," she admitted. "He walked through the house like he was measuring it." That changed everything. Jamie closed her laptop. "Give me the address." That night, before driving out, Jamie reviewed case law on spousal elective share and marital contribution. If she could prove post-marriage financial integration, the brothers' argument would weaken. Still, she found herself staring at the property listing online. 3 bedrooms, suburban lot, built in the 90s, stable, permanent. She wondered what kind of woman fought to keep something like that. The next afternoon, Jamie parked in front of a white-sided house with carefully trimmed flower beds, and for reasons she couldn't explain yet. She took a deep breath before stepping out of the car. When Mirable opened the door, Jamie understood immediately why the brothers felt threatened. She was not fragile. She was composed, steady, grounded in a way that made chaos look small. 39, but someone who had survived more than she spoke about. "Thank you for coming," Mirable said. Her voice was warm, low, unhurried. Jamie stepped inside and felt something shift. They sat at the dining table, documents spread between them. Original deed, mortgage history, tax records, marriage certificate. Jamie read carefully. "Because there's no will," she explained, "the estate falls under intestacy laws. As the surviving spouse, you're entitled to a share." "How much?" Mirable asked. "That depends on state distribution statutes and whether the property is considered marital or separate." Mirable didn't panic, she simply nodded. "So they're not entirely wrong?" Jamie met her eyes. "They're not automatically right either." The brothers' attorney sent a letter 2 days later. It was aggressive, demanding liquidation of the property and distribution among blood relatives, claiming premarital ownership, nullified spousal rights to full title. Jamie read it twice, then smiled. They were trying to intimidate. The next few weeks were filled with motions, filings, and late-night preparation. Jamie found herself returning to Mirable's house frequently. At first, strictly business. Then, slightly less so. One evening, after reviewing probate documents, Mirable poured 2 glasses of water and sat across from Jamie. "You don't seem surprised by any of this," she observed. "I see it often," Jamie replied. "Families turn on each other over property?" "Yes. And does it usually end badly?" "Only when someone underestimates the paperwork." Mirable laughed softly. It was the first time Jamie saw her relax. "Can I ask you something?" Mirable said. Jamie nodded. "Why estate law?" Jamie hesitated. No client had asked that before. It's clear, she answered finally. There are rules, structure, defined outcomes. And you like that? I like knowing where I stand. Mirable studied her for a moment. And in life? Jamie looked down at the documents. I prefer clarity. The first hearing was procedural. The brothers showed up in suits that didn't fit well. Their attorney did most of the talking. They argued that because the house was purchased before marriage and titled solely to their brother, the majority interest should revert to blood relatives. Jamie countered with spousal share statutes and occupancy protections. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. The judge scheduled further review. Outside the courthouse, one of the brothers approached Mirable. You're taking what isn't yours, he said coldly. Jamie stepped between them before Mirable could respond. The estate will be decided by statute, Jamie said evenly, not by sentiment. That night, Mirable called. Not about documents, not about strategy. I just wanted to say thank you, she said. For what? For standing in front of me. Jamie went quiet. It had been instinct, not strategy. Something changed after that. Not overtly, but subtly. Their conversations lingered longer. They drifted from probate codes to personal histories. Mirable spoke about her late husband gently. Not with longing, but respect. We loved each other, she said once. But we were different people. Jamie didn't ask more. One rainy evening, after reviewing bank statements, the power flickered briefly. The house dimmed. They both laughed. You'd think the universe would give us a break, Mirable said. Jamie looked at her across candlelight. And for the first time, she didn't feel like the lawyer for the woman across from her. She felt seen. That realization unsettled her, because she had built an identity around being the composed one, the emotionally advanced one, the one who left when things felt unstable. And suddenly, she wasn't the one in control of the emotional atmosphere anymore. The brothers escalated. They filed a petition challenging the classification of the house as marital property. They claimed Mirable had contributed nothing financially before marriage. It was partially true, but incomplete. Jamie found records showing joint account transfers after marriage used toward renovations and mortgage payments, which complicated their argument, which strengthened hers. The night before the critical hearing, Jamie stayed late at the house reviewing financial timelines. Becca had gone to stay with a friend. It was quiet. Too quiet. You're exhausted? Mirable said gently. I've been more tired. You don't have to carry all of this alone. Jamie looked up. That's my job. Mirable shook her head. I meant life. There it was, the line shifting. Not inappropriate, not reckless, just human. And for the first time in years, Jamie didn't immediately retreat.